Welcome, people. It is Thursday. It wouldn't be quite a Thursday without another weekly away days, and it's a pleasure to have you all with us. Um, Again, this week, always drama within Newcastle United. Never ever a dull moment, certainly in the last month or so. Um, we got a point at Crystal Palace, a useful point. Not what we wanted. We wanted the 3 points, but we'll take it and we'll walk away. However, we've got a mammoth task on our hands. Saturday, 3 p.m. We welcome the Blue Boys up north, Chelsea Football Club, and you know what? It wouldn't be quite a preview on away days without having an opposition's view. So I'm going to welcome in the Blue Lounge boys, the Blue Lounge panel, which consists of Mohammed Kasim. Welcome in. We've got Kasim, who you know well, Unloaded. We've got the Couch Critic, all the way from Canada, and Mo, MDT. Welcome, boys. Welcome to Loaded Mag. How are you guys tonight?
We're good.
Hi, mate. All right.
All
We're good. Thanks for having us.
All good. Why, guys? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys coming on tonight to talk football, to talk NUFC and Chelsea Football Club. But first, I just wanted to know a little bit about the Blue Lounge. So, talk to us a little bit about your channel. Talk to us about how it came together, how long you've been going, and how long you've been a panel for.
Yeah, the Blue Lounge has been it's been there for about a year and a half. We started as Baggy TV, which was my nickname, but then the channel expanded and it grew, and we changed the name to the Blue Lounge. As a panel here, we've been discussing Chelsea related news for about 6 months, I would say. Some have been here longer than others, but we have been doing it for about 6 months. We cover all aspects of Chelsea Football Club. You know, the player transfers, previews, reviews. All the gossip, all the rumors, and all the facts and the stats. So we try to keep a balanced view of everything. It's a growing community. We're on 8,000 subscribers. Road to 10K. So hopefully we'll reach that by the end of the year. That's the ambition that we have. And yeah, I mean, we have a mixture of perspectives. We don't all think the same. We don't all have the same mindset when it comes to our club. But at the end of the day, everyone on this panel is a big Chelsea supporter, and we all bleed blue, and we're all here for our club. So.
Nah, massive respect for that. Massive respect. Like you said, I love the fact that, like you said, you guys all have different opinions. That's what makes football, and particularly when you're following your club, so interesting. Is that everybody has different views and opinions on your club, on players, on how performances go, and it really makes for a good conversation. So, mad respect. The one thing I've got to say is that. I feel a little bit like outnumbered here. You guys feel like it's like a bit of a 4-on-1 job here. The Loaded Boys have left me hanging tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Listen, Pete. To be honest, I have a feeling you're gonna feel like that again on Saturday.
The digs are coming in already, and you know what? I said it right at the start. It's going to be a mammoth task. It really, really is. But look, we'll get into it. We'll get into it now. Look, I want to hear all your perspectives on this. Look, Chelsea Football Club, champions of Europe. What a fantastic end to last season, you guys. Did you honestly expect? You know, when Lampard left the club halfway through the season, did you really expect to be European champions come May?
I'll let one of the boys take that. I've talked too much already.
Take it. Did you really expect Chelsea to be champions of Europe come May?
So sorry, is that me or MDT?
Yeah.
Me. No. To be fair, mate. When Frank Lampard got sacked, we're in ninth position. And obviously, when the new manager coming in, Tuchel, our aim that time to be a top four. because obviously Frank Lampard spent the 200 million, and he had a very good players, but I don't think he couldn't use them very good. So yeah, our aim to finish top four, mate, and win a trophy like the FA Cup. But the new manager came, and it was just it was absolutely outstanding. And we ended up winning Champions League. I didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think ultimately what it comes down to is you never expect a manager to come to get a squad to come together so quickly. And the fact that he changed the system and then he had people playing in positions where they were very unfamiliar in was was pretty incredible. But I think his assessment of the squad was second to none. He came in there and knew exactly what he wanted to do and pretty much executed it from minute one. From minute one of was it Wolves game right through to the Champions League final.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, I when he was announced it was Thomas Tuchel, I didn't think we were gonna win Champions League or whatever, but I was expecting a Gus Hindig type of season ending.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's why I wasn't surprised. I knew we have a chance in the FA Cup, but the Champions League. As soon as he was appointed, I knew that Atletico is not gonna beat us. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's the way I am. Because I was like, he's a tactical genius, so there's no way he's gonna make it easy for them. So automatically, I had this Gus Hindig vibe. And then when he get to the semi-final, I'm like, oh, is it gonna happen again like Barcelona? Last minute go Real Madrid and things. And then he went beyond my even my wildest dreams. But I thought he will be the next Gus Hindig. That's what I thought, and it happened better than even Gus.
Definitely. I think he shocked everyone. Now, Thomas Tuchel he's a fantastic manager. I've followed his career really, really well. I thought he was harshly treated at PSG. I thought he did a really good job there, managing very, very difficult players. How has he? We know he's obviously come in and made a difference and an impact because obviously he's the European champions. But how has he, changed the look of the club over the course of the months that he's been in?
I mean, I'll start with this. The formation is the first thing that he changed. We used to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 system. He came in with a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-1-2 system, which changed the whole dynamic of the team. We no longer played with wingers; we played with inverted forwards. We no longer had the problems. So I'm getting some feedback. We no longer had the problems in defence. Before Tuchel, goals were being leaked. Silly goals were being scored against us. Since Tuchel has come in, the defence has been one of the best in the Premier League, and I think it still is one of the best in the Premier League, regardless what some ex-England international Manchester United players will have you believe. I think I think the defence that Chelsea has is up there with the best of them, and the defenders. He managed to motivate players that were demoralised under Lampard. No disrespect to Lampard, we love the man, but players like Marcos Alonso, he was reborn under Tuchel. Players like Rudiger, reborn under Tuchel. Unfortunately, some other players have suffered because of the system. But all in all, I think Chelsea are a lot better as a team because of Tuchel, his man management, his ability to motivate players and to get players to play for the badge within a specific system. In the past, the Chelsea players were playing for the badge, but not within that specific system.
Interesting. So I move on to Kasim. So Kasim, it was mentioned that there were some players that may have not, that have fallen out of favour now Tuchel's come in. Who would you say those sort of players are that have sort of fallen out of favour since he's come in as manager?
Well, look, first of all, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Can I hear?
Yeah. First of all, Chelsea got a big squad, and I don't think he's got his favour. That's what I like about Tuchel. So what he does is in the training ground, he see the player, training him, and he see who give it everything, and he in the place. He start first. So like if Tuchel, not Tuchel, Ziyech. Now, it could be second or third choice now for him. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure why. Chilwell, we heard, in the beginning, he had Europe, and people come out with a rumor, it's fall out with him, X, Y, and Z, and look at Ben Chilwell now. His last 4 games, he scored 4 goals. Alonso started very well. Now he seemed like a second choice. So it seemed to me he has his favor. Why he does it is whoever works hard for the shirt and the badge, it will start. That's what he think, and I think that is a top manager knowledge and philosophy, if you know what I mean. Whoever give you everything, he starts.
Okay. No, sounds good, and you're right. I mean, me being based in Leicester, I obviously know of Ben Chilwell quite well, and it has been noticeable from the outside looking in that Chilwell hasn't been playing, and actually, I've got to be honest, as a Newcastle fan now, and knowing we've got a little bit of money, I'm looking at Chilwell as potentially an option for us to take off your hands. If you're not going to play him, why not give him to us? Let us reap the rewards of his qualities. But
we're good, man. We're good.
Mo, Dennis, I'm going to come to you with a different question.
Sure.
You guys, obviously, you're the European champions, but ultimately, your owner, this man, Roman Abramovich, he wants to win everything, and he hasn't won the Premier League title for a few years now. So he realised he needed a striker. He moved out Tammy Abrahams, and he brought this monster in. Okay, what are your thoughts, Mo, Dennis? What are your thoughts on the acquisition and bringing Romelu Lukaku back to the club?
Jump in, Mo. I'll come in after.
Oh, okay. For me, I think the reason why he was signed is because of last season. Although we were playing a certain system, which we didn't rely on any specific forward. I think because we won the Champions League, it paper over the crack. But if you go back and look, we were very, very lucky because we missed a lot of chances. We lost the FA Cup because we could have scored 2-3. We didn't score any. And even against Leicester, it was Rudiger that scored the opening goal. People forgot that. And Mount scored later. When we beat Leicester, that's why we qualified for the Champions League. So when you look the last 10 games in the Premier, we lost to Arsenal, and Kai Havertz missed 2 which they're not strikers. They're not strikers. They attacking midfielders. So I'm not expecting them to be like strikers. So I think that was the reason why we need somebody in case we don't create as much chances as last season. But if we create even 25% of the chances, if we can take 20%, is better than creating 100% and taking 10%. So I think that's why Lukaku was bought. It's not about the amount of chances we created. It's about the amount of chances you take. If you take 20 out of 25 you create, is better than taking 10 out of 100 you create. For me, I think that's why Lukaku was bought. It's that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to jump on the back of Mo there and just right there because I agree. We were creating so many chances last year, and I'm sure you must have seen the amount of opportunities that fell to Werner that just were not finished. He was a laughing stock of the league last year. If you think about it, every time I go on the review shows, I'd see one clip of Werner missing a sitter in front of the net. Actually defending a goal. One where it's bound to go in and the guy just clears it off the line, trying to score for himself. So I don't know. I think that after seeing that for the entire year, we had to start thinking about how we're going to get somebody to get onto the end of these chances because we were creating a ton of them. So Lukaku coming in is supposed to alleviate some of the stress that was bestowed to the likes of Havertz, to the likes of Werner, to the likes of, I guess, even Pulisic, Ziyech, and give Tuchel somebody that can just get on the end of some of these chances. The thing is, I don't think that we play the same sort of style that we may have played with the likes of, who would it be, Werner or Havertz in the false nine system? Because right now we're playing with a recognized number 9 who basically, as Mo and Mo Kazim like to say, they like to say that he's at the the spear of the attack, and he's not as mobile as some people would like, but we're still trying to learn to adjust to playing with him as well. So there's a completely, and to be honest, I'll even go one step further. Like, as much as Tuchel probably gave him the okay to sign him, I don't think Tuchel's ever played with a recognized out and out number 9. Like, you look at his time at Dortmund, like his striker was, what was it, Aubameyang, who kind of is, again, more of a winger, right? Yeah, exactly. And then you look at PSG, you got like strikers, like attackers in who is it, Mbappe and Neymar, but the only real, and he's not even an out number 9 when you think of Cavani, like, because Cavani can play on the wing as well too, right? So he likes a little bit more fluid attackers, and I say that this is probably the first opportunity that he plays with somebody that's out and out number 9.
No, it's a great point. Some great points in there, and it will take a little bit of adjusting. It was always the same wherever he went. He needed some time to adjust. Lukaku did, whether it was Inter Milan, whether it was Everton, whether it was Man United. He will always score goals wherever he goes. And I said this. I've got a couple of mates that are season ticket holders at Old Trafford, and they were kind of saying, he's not good enough, he needs to leave. And I said, he is good enough, he's just doesn't fit into your style of play. I said, doesn't matter where he goes, where he moves on to, he will score goals wherever he goes, but it's about whether the manager can fit him into the system. And I think that's probably, Thomas Tuchel's biggest challenge, because I think if he can do that, you guys are going to be up there challenging for everything this year, the big trophies. But look, We've talked about Chelsea. We've talked about some of their players to start the season. We'll come back to Chelsea in a second. I want to know, the Newcastle fans in the chat want to know, look, what were your reactions? Because it came up on everybody very quick, this Newcastle takeover. Okay, it's been, for us, the fans, it's been a hot topic for the last 18 months. But even for us, this snuck up on us very, very quickly. We were told 1 minute it could be done. Within 24 hours, it was done. We were then the richest club in the world. We've gone from no money with Mike Ashley to an owner that's ambitious and willing to spend a hell of a lot of money on us. It's been a bit of a whirlwind for us. But as Chelsea fans, as from the outside looking in, what was your reactions individually to the takeover, and how are you sort of feeling about it now, a few weeks on?
I'm pleased. I'm over the moon. I mean, there's two sides to this takeover. There's what we're hearing in the political sense of the takeover. That I don't want to go into, because that is one of those topics that is subjective. It depends on how you want to approach it, how you want to look into it. It's subjective. What I want to look at is what is tangible, and that is a massive consortium has come in and has bought Newcastle United, making it not only one of the richest clubs in the world, but potentially a dominating factor in world football in the future. I'm not going to say near future, but in the future. I think having a team with that much money and that much finance in the Premier League is only going to make the Premier League stronger. The competition in the Premier League will be stronger, and that would make for a better viewership in respect to us fans. I would like to see Chelsea playing against good opposition week in, week out, and Newcastle, developing and improving will be that. Newcastle have a rich history, have a strong fan base, but have been lacking over the past decade and a half, I would say, because of the financial situation that you guys have been under. And I'm pleased to see Newcastle, getting back to their full strength financially. I'm used to seeing David Ginola. I'm used to seeing Alan Shearer. I'm used to seeing really good players playing for Newcastle. Recently, I'm not seeing that, so I'm looking forward to seeing some good players, good signings from Newcastle. But you guys do have a long road ahead of you. We Chelsea fans experienced a takeover of this nature a few years back, and we know it's not it's not easy to get success. It still takes time, it takes determination, it takes good management. It takes a lot of hard work before you can get to where you want to be. You guys want to be Premier League champions. You guys want to challenge for European honours. So take your time, but you're on the right path at the moment. So good luck to you.
No, I respect that massively. Kasim, our feelings on the takeover. You joined us when we were kind of celebrating, just
Yeah.
to say, well done. What are your feelings now, a few weeks on after the takeover? Are you still the same in terms of you're happy for us? Do you feel differently? How are you feeling right now?
Well, I agree. First of all, I agree with everything Mo said. I mean, in my opinion, it's going to be good for the league, good for the city. The Brits are going to invest in the city. It's going to make the league very, very competitive. Not just Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. Newcastle will be coming in as well in a few years' time. By the way, what is Daz, mate? Is Daz coming in or not?
Daz, no,
He's in
he
chat.
can't make
He's
it. He's active in the chat, but he can't make it on tonight.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm very, very happy. Yeah, happy for Newcastle, mate. I think they'll be all right. Newcastle. Yeah, happy for them, mate. I'm very happy for them.
Brilliant stuff. Mo, what were your initial thoughts when the takeover went through? How were you feeling? Were you feeling nervous that we were going to come and take your place? Is the media made out that was going to be the case?
No, you'll be surprised. The thing is, after I submitted my master's dissertation, I went to Newcastle because I have a lot of friends from the Middle East in Newcastle. Okay. I spent almost a month in and out of Newcastle. I even flown out of Newcastle from there to Doha with one of my friends then. We party at Blue Bamboo in Newcastle. Oh. We did so many crazy stuff. I love the place. I love the Geordies. So one of the place I was living is just the penthouse next to the stadium. That's where we spend most of our time, clubbing all night. I'm married now. I don't want my wife to hear this, But we were doing so many crazy stuff. So I have affection for Newcastle. The same way like the Man City thing, when they take over, because I live in Manchester, I know how they suffer. I know that they deserve it. So I will never be envious about them. I'm happy for them. Yeah. In the sporting term, it's going to be a more competition for Chelsea, which I welcome. It's fine. But also, I'm happy for the people, Newcastle fans, they deserve it. But more than want to go into this, I'm going to go into that. People that are complaining to say where the money comes from or whatever, there is no great wealth without a great sin. So everybody should just shut up and leave people alone. Arsenal Football Club was sponsored and financed by people that were controlling the mines in Rhodesia, in South Africa. They were apartheid supporters. Okay, Arsenal, the wealth of Arsenal. That's what, but you don't hear it in the media. Liverpool Football Club, the venture capitalists. If you want to go and check, go on Google what is vulture funds. Okay, the reason why Liberia is suffering is because of investors like Liverpool's owners. Liberia, Argentina, they control those countries' wealth because of they have government behind them. So I can go on a list because most people are not educated enough to know this. This is what I do. I know this. My family is involved in these kind of things. So when I hear the media, they're lying to you. They know there is no great wealth. I can go and go. Arsenal is sponsored by United Arab Emirates Flight, isn't it? Fly Emirates. Nobody is complaining. So, but why Newcastle is a problem? We can go. All this, I will tell you, yeah, there are things that are wrong, whatever, yeah. But everybody have a closet, a skeleton in their closet. So I'm happy for Newcastle fans. Don't be ashamed of your opportunity you have. Celebrate it. This is sport. If we come to human rights, we can discuss it. We all have it. Whether it's Chelsea, Arsenal, we are all guilty. But when it comes to sporting, whatever, I'm happy for Newcastle fans. And look at Manchester. Manchester City has done more for people of Manchester than Manchester United have done in 100 years. In the last 10 years, Manchester City owners have changed the face of East Manchester. If you come there right now, it's the most advanced place in the whole of Manchester. And it was a dump. I live in Manchester for over 20-something years. I'm telling you, I never even want to go there. It was the most horrible place to be. But right now is the best place to be in the city. So I don't understand all this whatever. And also, what is Manchester United owners doing? Arsenal current owner, the wife is from the Walmart family. Is it not their product, a Walmart factory in China? Is it not what's it called, the Muslims that are there that are making it in concentrated camps there? But you don't hear any Arsenal fans complaining about that, do we? Okay, so
Arsenal fans
I'm
complain
happy
a
for
lot.
you guys.
They got a lot to complain about.
Yeah, but they don't complain about where the money is coming from, where the owner's wife's family wealth is coming from, isn't it? Because the Uyghur Muslims in China, they're working for free, and those produce are going into Walmart and they're selling it. So there's no great wealth without a sin. That's what my father told me, and I grew up with that, and I know about it. So I'm happy for you guys. You know, you Geordies, enjoy your wealth.
You know what, Mo? Massive respect for that. You know, I agree. I agree. See, this is what it's really, really good to hear. You know, an opposition fan, a Chelsea fan, talk in this way, because you know this is what Newcastle fans have been fighting with really for the last 3 weeks. Is that we seem to be the easy target of football journalists, people in the media. Because we're not fighting against the Saudi Arabian consortium, the PIF that have come in and taken over the club. Now, you know, it's not up to us who owns the club. All we wanted was Mike Ashley out. We wanted a club that had hope, that had an opportunity to be ambitious in the future. We never had that for 14 years, but we've been made, you know, the guys to point the finger at, like that we're not doing enough. But what we've tried to do, and particularly on the back of Saturday, I don't know if you saw the banner that was put up at Selhurst Park, the Chelsea fans sort of, you know, targeting, you know, Newcastle and the Newcastle fans with regards to our takeover. But what they don't realise is one of their part owners has had a £20 billion investment into his company by none else than the PIF. So you know their part owner of the club has had investment and money given to him and invested into his company through the PIF, but yet they're pointing the finger at us because they're our owners. That people haven't done their homework here, and Mo, you clearly have done your homework, and you know I agree with Gary here. I'm going to refer to you as King Mo from now on, because you speak the truth 100%. But look, Dennis, your opinions on the takeover and how things have sort of like come about for Newcastle. What are your thoughts on it generally?
My God, how do you expect me to follow that, man? That's
You know what? You're right.
It's tough. It's tough, man.
yeah, no, you know, I'm kind of just. I mean, from a footballing standpoint, I think it's going to be interesting because, as I was saying in the chat, I don't necessarily think that the money is the be-all, end-all at this point. Yes, you will be able to bring in players. It's just the type of players that I'm thinking of. You know, so you know, there's going to be the Mbappes of the world out there. There's going to be the Raheem Sterlings of the world out there and whatnot. And for me, until you guys can, you know, like consistently put yourselves in contention, you're not going to be able to get the Mbappes. You'll probably get the guys that are wantaways like a Raheem Sterling, build on that as a foundation for the next few years. And then once you get into that top 6, top 4, then you might be able to start attracting the bigger names. So I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be like an overnight thing. I'm talking like maybe 4, 5, 6 years before we see the likes of Newcastle, you know, get into that top 4. They will get there eventually. I do believe that you guys will get there eventually, just because it's inevitable, you know. But having said that, the teams that are there right now, like they ain't letting go of it either, right? Like Chelsea's not letting go, City's not letting go. You know, Liverpool will probably struggle, but they won't let go easily, you know, like in the next 5, 6, 7 years. And of course, United, as much as that's a tire fire right now, like just the fact that that club is so big means they're gonna be in amongst it. once they sort themselves out at some point. So it's not going to be easy. It's just made the competition that much tougher. So, I mean, there was a point where it was feeling like, the top four is going to start to run away with it, just because of the sheer power of the clubs. And you guys have now come in and just throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing, because now, it's not going to be, nobody's running away with it right now. It's going to be a fight for the top 6 positions once again. And that's what we want in football. So, more power to you, man.
If I can, sorry, Pete, if I can
go.
just add something. Success breeds success. So for Newcastle to attract the big players that they do want to attract, and for them to to be competing at top 4, top 6 level, then they have to do it gradually. They need to build slowly. They need to make some signings now, and I think your number one realistic target is to survive this season in the Premier League, because right now with the way the table is looking, you guys are in trouble, and you need to get some wins. And you've got some tough games, especially December. You guys have some tough games coming up in December. So your target needs to be to stay in the Premier League this season. Once you've achieved that, then you're going to be able to get some players in come January, and then attract players on a year-by-year basis. Because you're not going to... I mean, I saw people talking about, Newcastle can buy Erling Haaland in the summer. Well, you can. Financially, you have the money to do that. But would he come to a team that's not in Europe, that's not in the Champions League? It's difficult to see. However, if you guys are able to reach European qualifications over the next couple of years, then you'll be able to attract players like Haaland. And that should be the ambition today, to be able to build a team that will be breeding success, achieving success on a long-term basis, rather than just trying to jump. And I mean, I heard you guys were interested in Coutinho. Coutinho is a player that has a lot of ability, but at the same time, he is more of a what's the word here? Of a marketing type of player, a promotional type of player, rather than someone that can add a lot to your team. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, and I think he would do great at Newcastle. But he would come at a very high price, and he may have some repercussions, a ripple effect when it comes to the other players. So it just needs to be done carefully and with a bit of caution, I reckon.
Fantastic points from both of you, Dennis, and Mo as well. You've hit the nail on the head for so many things. Dennis in particular for how you see it is a slow build. That's exactly, you speak to every single Newcastle fan, certainly that we've spoke to, whether it's on social media, whether it's guys that have joined us on the show, people in the chat, we're all of the same mindset. This is not going to be something, we're not expecting, we stay in the league this season, and we're not expecting to be challenging for the league next year. The media will tell you that that's the case because of the finances that we've got. But the realities of us as a fan base, we'd just take top half. We haven't had a top half finish for how long? You know what I mean?
Right.
The one thing that I've said for the past year on this channel and a couple of other Newcastle channels that we're on, that we represent as well, is that what we're sick of, and what I'm sick of more than anything, is having to look every June when the fixtures come out to see where we're going to get our 40 points from, just to stay in the league. Like, we're sick and tired of that year in, year out. The one thing this takeover hopefully will allow us is that, by staying in the league this season, that we won't have to ever worry about, dropping down into the Championship again. We've done it twice in our history. Both of those times, were under Mike Ashley. Which says everything about his ownership, and that we don't want to be worried about that anymore. Like, we want to be able to look up. We're not saying we demand to win the league or demand to win or to qualify for the Champions League, but we want to know that we've got a club that is looking to go in that direction. And if we show a little bit of ambition in the players that we sign, the manager that we bring in, all the things that happen around the club, that's all we want. And that's all we're looking for. And you're absolutely right, Mo, in you're saying, none of us expect the Mbappes or the Erling Haalands. We don't even expect, as Dennis said, we don't even expect the likes of Raheem Sterling, but we expect, first and foremost, to actually sign a permanent signing in January, which we haven't done for God knows how long. We actually want to be able to sign a couple of players that are going to improve the squad, and not just players that are just going to be loan signings that are just going to be in the squad to buffer up the numbers and not actually improve the first team. That's what we're excited about come January. And it's those little things that mean a lot to us, because we haven't had that for so long. So we are fully aware that this is going to be a slow build. And look, like West Ham, like Everton and Brighton this season, we may well have a season next year where we pick up a few runs of results and we head up the table. Who knows? I mean, for me, I've always had the mindset is that the top four is very much set. The two Manchester clubs, Chelsea and Liverpool, are effectively the top four. They are the top four clubs in the Premier League and have been for quite a while now. For me, after that, it's fair game for anybody. I think Chelsea and Tottenham have fallen away massively. And I think the debts on their stadium has proven massive in terms of not being able to recruit. And that's allowed the likes of West Ham and Everton and one or two others, Leicester as well, can't forget, that are pushing. And I think it's fair game for anyone. I think that's where we can start to compete in the years to come. And then it's going to be that big jump, as you guys said, into the top four. And it will take time. But
sorry, Pete. I just you were talking about Ashley. I mean, Ashley did you guys a favor, because the fact that he hasn't bought no one over the past couple of seasons, it's giving you room with financial fair play where you're able to invest and spend extra money to get players coming in, because you haven't spent money since Mike Ashley's been here. I think last transfer was a couple of seasons ago. Last big money transfer for you guys. So you have got that budget, and you can thank him or not, but he's done that for you guys.
You're right. He's allowed us to. We as a club could spend 200 million this January if we wanted to, and it wouldn't impact on us. And there was a thread that was out there the other day. The Swiss Rambler put out there that potentially, with things working certain ways, that we could spend up to 600 million in the next few transfer windows, and it wouldn't necessarily affect us. That's been argued here back and forth, but the scope that could potentially happen with signing on fees, with transfer fees and various things.
FFP's been relaxed as well, so
it has. So it allows for further spending because of COVID and all the rest of the things. But I'm just gonna move us on slightly, because
can I just ask you one question, though? Because this is just something I want to know from the other side of the pond here. So in terms of infrastructure in Newcastle, have they been putting any investment into development and that sort of thing in Newcastle, or is it just basically focused on the club alone?
Great question, Dennis. And the answer to that is that Newcastle, for years upon years upon years, has been neglected. It's been neglected by the government in terms of redevelopment and regeneration in the city. And it's just been neglected by its owner in terms of the surrounding areas in Newcastle and being regenerated. And you know what? That's probably one of the most exciting things about the fact that these new owners are coming in. Yes, we'll get a new manager and a new ownership and new players eventually. But actually, one third of the consortium, which are the Reuben brothers, are property developers. And they're very successful ones, and they are already developing properties in Newcastle. They own the racecourse in Newcastle and various other properties. They are part of the consortium because they see the opportunity to redevelop areas of Newcastle. So very much like you talked about Manchester City and how they took a derelict area, an area that was a dump, as Mo rightly said. And if you've been there recently, and I've been there, you look at how they've developed, the training stadium, the facilities in and around the Etihad. It's outstanding. They've made that area into a go-to area in Manchester. Now, this is what the consortium have planned for us. They plan to not just develop the stadium and the current playing squad. They want to develop the area in the city and make the city better. And that excites Newcastle fans and the residents of Newcastle just as much as the takeover, because what that does is create jobs and opportunities for the people in the local city, not just in Newcastle, but in the surrounding areas like Sunderland and Middlesbrough. It brings people into the city. And if it brings money and brings people into the city and jobs, that's great for the city and it can grow. So that's the plan. I mean, obviously, we will hope to see that come to fruition over the years to come. But it's exciting to see that's something of a potential.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
good
Can
to
I add
hear,
this?
man. Yeah.
And can I add this there as well?
Yeah.
One of the biggest property owners in the northeast is a Saudi family. They've been there for 40, 50 years now. I think, if I'm not mistaken. And they own one of the buildings next to the stadium as well. They've had investment in that city for a long, long time. Whether Bahraini, Qatari, they have investment in that city. So I think this is gonna just take it to another level. A lot of people don't know that. They think that is new. If you check even Newcastle University, go and see their student list. Most of them are from the Middle East and North Africa. Okay, so a lot of people don't know this. Northumberland University, I know this place. I was there 15 years ago, 16 years ago, partying. I know the place. I know people there. So, but a lot of people think this is a new thing. These people have had investment in that place for a long, long time. Okay, they're not new. They're not new to that place. They know the place.
Great point. Great point. I didn't know that myself. I knew that they had that there were Saudi Arabian property owners near the ground, but I didn't know the other aspect of that. So great to know. Fantastic stuff from you guys. Really, really enjoying this. Jeff's put a question on there, interesting one. He's put a serious question. Supermac, who's a famous Newcastle player, played for England as well, amongst other things. Was talking up Lampard as a potential manager. Now, obviously, Lampard was your manager before Tuchel came in and took over. What would you say to that as a potential manager for Newcastle, knowing the type of project we're looking to build? Would it be the right type of signing as manager at this stage?
Who wants to go first, lads?
I'll
This is a
jump
tricky
in.
one.
I'll jump in.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know because it's just what your aspirations are. For me, it's like you're trying to like elevate up the table, and attract some names. So for me, Lampard kind of does fit the bill in that respect because he is a visible manager. Needs a second chance to just cut his teeth on a club, a club that is obviously willing to spend, and I'm assuming that's what's happening there. And he's good with young guys, right? So if you guys want to attract some young players and give him a chance to, mold them a certain way, give them a chance, he's a great manager for that. And also, he's a guy that is a recognized figure in the Premier League, right? It's not like you're getting like a Graham Potter, who also I think is a great manager. But like if you get like a Graham Potter who comes in, he's not as recognized as a figure. I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but like as a footballing figure, Frank Lampard has a lot of clout. You know what I mean? If somebody you say that Frank Lampard's looking at you, it's going to hold a lot more weight than saying, Tony Pulis is looking at you, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm just for a name. No disrespect to Tony, but like Frank Lampard has a lot of stature in the Premier League. So, when you hear his name, you're probably going to listen. So that's something that I think is good, and then also just like the winning pedigree. I mean, he wasn't really he wasn't really a failure as a manager, as far as I'm concerned. Like he had a falling out with our club close to the end, and players stopped playing for him. But the season before that, he got us into the top four just based on the fact that he was working with the young guys. He had a high acumen for football. Like we didn't have a transfer window that year, and he was able to get these young guys to understand what we wanted to do on the pitch, and got some good results in as a result. But ultimately, I think if you guys go for Lampard, he's going to be the type of guy that will set the right standards for you guys. Winning mentality, he has that in his pedigree, and that's kind of what you want at this point. You want to go from this idea of losing year after year after year, staving off relegation, to a guy that is win first, winning first mentality, a guy that's won it all, So I think it'd be a good move, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see him go there. I don't want to see him go there.
Anyone else with the Lampard opinion?
I'll go after him.
I'll go. The thing is, I agree with Dennis. If you guys are patient, you give him young players, I think he will do good. But the other thing is he needs to bring in not only like his friends as backroom staff. He needs an experienced head next to that, especially not a British one. He will bring his friends, but he has to bring a foreign experienced head next to him, not to always tell him, yeah, everything is great. So I think at Chelsea that was his downfall, not having an experienced person on the bench to move him along. Say, you know what, you're a player, you have to move away from the player mentality and be a manager and things like that. So if you guys do that, I think he will do well. For me, the coaching staff he has to go with a young team. If he has a young team, he will do well. But doing well because of you guys are wealthy now. So you're gonna be like, you know what happened with Mark Hughes at City? He was doing well, but Mancini come and finish the job. I don't know whether he will be the one to finish the job, but he will do well. He will maybe get you into the top 5, top 6. Yeah, that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I agree with both of you. You make some great points, Mo and Dennis also. But there is something that Frank Lampard has done, and that was to have a great performance and a great results with Derby before coming into Chelsea, and then doing, like Dennis said, fantastic job for his first season. Second season, Lampard wasn't doing badly with the circumstances. Remember, when Lampard took over Chelsea, a lot of the players at Chelsea were players that he knows, that Jordi Morris knows. Therefore, it was easy for him to utilize them. But then the second season, you had 8 new players come into the first team, and he had to work with players that he doesn't know. Players that are, there may be language barriers, there may be, experience issues because they're coming from different leagues from across Europe. So Frank Lampard wasn't able to perform that well with that team. Doesn't mean that Frank Lampard is a bad manager per se. It just means that he needed more time with that squad before he could perform and could achieve success. So Thomas Tuchel coming in did get us past that experience burden that came with Frank Lampard. But I think Frank Lampard at Newcastle, and this is why I disagree with Dennis, I think Frank Lampard at Newcastle could be successful because Newcastle is a building project. Therefore, Frank Lampard is literally starting from square one, either with the players that are in the squad or players that he would be bringing in, so he can build his own team. Now, could he come in and secure you guys Premier League football and not get relegated? Yes, I think Frank Lampard coming in now can do that job for you guys, and then he can start building the upcoming season. So for me, I would say grab him if you can, and best luck to both of you.
Good stuff. Cassim, what do you think about Lampard to Newcastle? Think it will work?
No, I disagree. Actually, I don't think. I think Graham Potter better. Yeah, 100%. Graham Potter better manager than Frank Lampard. Graham Potter better manager than Frank Lampard. As a player, he's a legend for Chelsea. I love him as a player. I don't think Newcastle will go for him, mate. I think Newcastle coming with a big project. They're gonna look to the like of Brendan Rodgers, Graham Potter. And after that, world-class manager in the future to take him to the Champions League, Premier League title. But for me, I think Graham Potter, I think better manager than Frank Lampard. Man management is great. I'm not sure about Frank Lampard man management. So that's my opinion.
This is why I asked you all, because I knew the opinions are going to be different.
Brendan wouldn't go to Newcastle at this point in his career. Maybe in a couple of seasons when Newcastle have achieved a better success, have a better squad, then Brendan Rodgers might be the man that comes and finishes it and wins them the trophies.
And it's like you're talking about like going like from a relegation fight right now. So you're saying that Graham Potter is going to leave Brighton and go. You know what I mean? Like it's just not realistic. He's not going to go.
Why not? Why not?
Because he's in the top 6 positions right now. He's not going to leave.
But Newcastle got a big project, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's doing well right now. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that. What if Newcastle he goes over there and Newcastle goes down? What happens then?
No, I answered that one. All right. Are you sure Frank Lampard can save Newcastle to be relegated? Because he's never been in that experience.
No, but I think that he has more to gain from it though than say like Graham Potter at this point. he has more to gain because he's not in a job right now. Graham Potter has a lot to lose because he's doing well at Brighton, and then if they go down, he kind of loses his clout, right? Frank can only go up from there.
No, I agree with you, mate.
Sorry, Kasim, sorry to interrupt
you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'll go back to the point that Dennis made about Lampard demanding respect. His name sticks out there. If Newcastle is looking to build, they're looking to attract players. The fact that they are going to be playing under Lampard would be more attractive to certain players than others. So that is something that Frank Lampard has going for him, which is something that the Newcastle will benefit from, I reckon.
Yeah. No, it's like I say, it's a really good topic of conversation because, look, I have to be honest, Lampard has been, at one point he was favourite to be manager, and I know there's a lot of talk that one of the Reuben brothers, Jamie Reuben, who's now part of the consortium, is good friends with him, so there was the potential of there being a link there with him coming into the club. But look, nobody knows with regards to this managerial situation. It's changing from day to day. There's a new manager in the frame every day that's a favourite. It keeps changing. I think it will just pop up one day that he'll be announced, and we'll go forward from there. But look, we've had a little bit of talk about various different things, but let's now get into the game. Okay, Newcastle United, Chelsea Football Club, 3:00 kickoff on Saturday. Right, let's discuss the key players for both sides. So, look, let's start with Newcastle. So, Newcastle, obviously, coming off the back of a 1-1 draw from Palace, we lost to Tottenham previously. We're in a difficult position right now. We're 19th in the table, only 4 points on the board, with 3 from safety, effectively. We're not in the best of positions. However, it's our second home game of the season. Effectively, our under new ownership, but it's really our first game on Saturday without both Mike Ashley and Steve Bruce. So there's a lot of talk that the players and the fans are going to be properly up for this. We know that War Flags, who do our flag displays, are coming up with something massive for the start of the game on Saturday. There's a real fanfare about our home games at the moment. But from your guys' perspective, who are the guys that do you think could hurt you on Saturday from a Newcastle perspective?
Say Maxim. Obviously.
Callum Wilson.
I'm fighting of those two guys.
Almiron.
Miggy Almiron.
And Sam Maximin, definitely the big player for you lot. Sam Maximin.
I mean, he's a little bit too individualistic, but I think that he has quality. on the pitch.
It depends how we line up, though, Dennis. I think his main attribute is his flair, his pace. But he also needs someone up there with him. So he needs to have Wilson performing well as well. So it depends on our lineup, and we've vested a lot of our centre backs. So we're gonna be playing a strong centre back setup against Newcastle. So I'm not really too concerned. I'll be honest with you. And I know this might sound like I'm being cocky or whatnot, but I think you guys have this going for you. I mean, talking about players, it could be, it could go either way. Good performance, bad performance from our end. But what you talked about in regards to the fan base, the stadium, the atmosphere, I think that's going to be a big factor for you guys. I think the fact that you're playing at home with the new ownership officially, coming in without Steve Bruce, without Ashley, there's going to be a lot of hype behind this. So that is going to be a factor. That worries me more than the team, to be honest. I mean, if I'm being honest,
I'm actually quite the opposite. Like, obviously, whenever we go to St. James Park, it's always going to be a tough game. Without question, we always have trouble there. Probably one of our bogey
because
grounds.
Of the fans, because of the fans,
because of early kickoffs, because of everything.
And now they're happy.
But here's the other thing.
When they were pissed, they were scary. Now that they're happy, it's a different issue. You get me?
Fair enough. But the other thing that I'm actually kind of like cautious of is like this is the first game under the new manager, right? So it's going to be very hard to game plan because like we don't have anything to go on. We don't know what he's going to do. Like we know what Steve Bruce is set up to do. He's going to play like the 4 and then one in front of the 4 and then attackers above it. It's like a 4-1-4-1 or something like that. But now we don't know. Like Tuchel's a guy that loves to study the game. He loves to study tape. He looks at things and game plans accordingly. But without knowing what this manager is going to do, it's going to be very hard to, he's going to have to adjust in the game. And I think he's very good at that as well. Like, let's be honest. He's a world-class manager, knows how to make adjustments in game. But I worry about the first 30 minutes of that game. That's what I'm saying.
Good point. Our first halves haven't been great this season. So good point.
Can I say, I think first of all, Newcastle got a very good record against us. They always play well, beat us most of the time, really, especially in Newcastle. Newcastle got very, very good player. You got Willock from Arsenal, just signed from your lot, and you got some Maximum. Callum Wilson. You got even Richie. He's got a good left foot. He takes the free kicks. So Newcastle, it's gonna be a tough game, It couldn't. I mean, if we start well, we will have the 3 point. But if we didn't start well, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
Good points.
We've got a lot of injuries as well, so that's worrying us.
And that's the point that I was going to come on to in a second. Obviously, with Newcastle, we're just getting all of our injured players back. We've got Wilson back. We're John Joe Shelby, although he was suspended, was back in. We've had a number of other players that were struggling, Jamal Lascelles and various others. I think we've got Paul Dummett coming back in as well, who would naturally play left back. I know Richie's been playing there, but he's a proper fullback. He knows how to play that position. So we're just getting our players back. But on the flip side for you guys, there are a number of injuries there, in particular to your main men up front. So Romelu Lukaku, Timo Werner, they're looking like they're going to miss the game. I don't know if you've heard anything different.
Oh, 100%.
I heard Werner could be back, innit?
No, he's not in training today.
No.
Okay.
No? Okay.
But you've also had some injuries to Ziyech, to Pulic, to Christensen, to Appy. Are there any updates on any of them? And to add to that, who are the guys that we need to worry about on Saturday? Bearing in mind you've got your injured players out, who are the guys that you think could make the difference for you in the game on Saturday?
Mo, do you want to start this off?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I don't want to be cocky. Well, I'm not worried. I love Newcastle, but not that much. I think Callum should have a good game. Cover should have a good game. Even Georgie should have a good game. And also, Kai should have a good game. Mount should have a good game. So for me, I think those players, the midfielders and our wing backs, Alonso has a very good record against Newcastle when it comes to low block. But he's not playing. I believe Chilwell can do the same job as Alonso. So, when I look at it, I'm pretty happy with the 5-6 players we're gonna have in your box. One of them is gonna score. If they don't score, we're gonna score from a corner. Either Rudiger, Silva. We're gonna beat you anyway. So anyhow.
And if we are unfortunate and we don't score, we've got Mendy in the other end who will allow us to have a draw at least.
Very, very good point. He is a terrific goalkeeper. A very, very good goalkeeper who it just seems to be getting better and better every week in the Chelsea's goalie top. How much has he changed the complexion of your team? Obviously, with having Kepa in before and with the odd mistake here and there, has he just revamped the way in which you guys play?
Yeah, I think Kepa had some issues. Kepa has some personal issues which affected his performance, and that had a negative impact on our defenders, because if you don't have confidence in the man behind you, between the sticks, it's gonna impact your ability to defend. And I think when Mendy came in and took over that mantle, He has given a lot of confidence to our defenders and to our midfielders. And we are no longer worried if our midfielder or our defender makes a mistake, because we have someone, we have a sweeper keeper who's able to sweep it all up and keep it nice and clean at the back. Dennis, I think you wanted to come in on this, didn't you?
On the Mendy
Kepa
front,
thing. Kepa thing.
not really. I was more just thinking about who the worries are attacking wise. I think our wing backs are going to be a problem for you guys. I think our wing backs are going to be a problem, and it's mainly because of how we're using them now. I think that their ability to get into the box and like make runs inside is going to be it's going to be troublesome, because I don't know if you guys are going to have the ability to cope with them and the likes of the Havertz, Mount if he plays. Pulisic is actually back on the bench. I would assume probably get on the bench. So we have a lot of attacking weapons, but no real attacking threat, if that makes sense. But because it's more by committee, I'd say, and you can say that we lost like Werner and Lukaku, but to be honest with you, I think we play better in a false nine system anyways, where there's a little bit more fluidity up front. So the loss of Lukaku is big, because I think that the box presence and his ability to get on opportunities, just get on the end of opportunities is important. But I actually think that as an attacking unit, we play better without a recognized number 9 right now, because we haven't really quite adjusted to playing with Lukaku. So the likes of the Mount, Havertz, Pulisic who gets minutes, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and then those wing backs I was talking about. I think that that's where the problems are going to come. If they come, they will. Don't worry.
You guys I tell you what, you're getting more and more confident as this show is going on. I don't know.
You're not telling us what we need to be worried about, man. What's going on?
You should see the show tomorrow, so it'll be even more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to be quietly excited about Saturday, thinking we're going to pull a surprise, or whether to be extremely worried that it's going to be an absolute drubbing. I'm not sure kind of what to believe right now. But look, I'll just give you sort of from my perspective. I think the crowd and these boys, the war flags are going to be there. They're going to be flying high. The crowd are going to be up for it. Speaking to fans, they're already buzzing about the game on Saturday and the potential for, the potential for being back in the stadium without the likes of Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley together. You've got players like Joe Willock, who I've talked about. I think he's not played his best football for us yet this season. But I think the more he trains, the fitter he gets, the more he gets over his toe injury, which he's been having a lot of injections from recently, the better he'll become. This man, he's got 4 in 5 games. He knows where the goal is. It was an outstanding goal he scored against Crystal Palace. He's always got a goal in him, and he knows how to ruffle defenders up the wrong way. And you've talked about it before. You got the magician. We absolutely love him to bits, Alan St-Maximin. He is a guy that I think could really cause some problems in this team. But if you're asking me for Chelsea, I think Dennis was correct. I think your wing backs, Ben Chilwell, Reece James, if they start, which is likely they will cause some problems. I think this guy's really coming into form this season. Kai Havertz is a technically very, very gifted player that had an indifferent start at Chelsea, but seems like he's now starting to find his way. I think personally, if we're going to lose the game, it'll be through the midfield, and it'll be the likes of, if this guy plays, because he just knows how to break everything up. He's probably, for me, one of the best defensive midfielders that's ever been in football, in my opinion. I think he's just an outstanding talent. And even though he's in his 30s, he just doesn't seem to be dropping in his quality and his ability. So for me, I think they're the guys that are going to be the standout guys for sort of both teams either way. But look, we're going to get down to predictions, and finally, I've got myself some backup. So, as I always have the stats in the games, I have to bring in my main man Keith Roll and Newcastle fan as well. How are you, Keith?
Evening, lads. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, it can hear you perfect. Come on, throw some stats at us, and hopefully there's some positive ones from a Newcastle's perspective, because we need them. We need all the help we can get right now.
Pleased to meet you all, Blue Lounge, and welcome.
What's up?
Pleasure.
Great show.
Pleasure.
Newcastle Chelsea stats. So going back to 1993, unfortunately, Newcastle have played 62 times, and Chelsea have got the slightly better record. Newcastle have won 15 times, they've drawn 13, and they have lost 34. Since the beginning of last season, I'll give you a downer stat first, piece.
Keith, can I just ask you to give me the stat for your home venue? Because this is home and away, correct?
Yeah, I'll give you the home one, yeah. So, at St. James's Park, in the last 10 games with Newcastle and Chelsea, Chelsea have won 3, they've drawn 2, and Newcastle have won 5. So, yep, and it was the last fixture that Newcastle won. We'll remember that. Isaac Hayden in the 90th minute popped in the 90th minute.
Yeah.
We all remember that because that was one of the last games pre-pandemic. And the ovation. But at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have won 8 in a row of the last Newcastle-Chelsea games, and the last time Newcastle won there was 2012, and we'll remember that too. Pape Cissé, don't we, Pete?
Cissé.
Glorious 2 goals.
Magical goals, absolute magical goals. And you know what? I hate going to Stamford Bridge. I refuse to go back there. The one and only time I've ever gone to Stamford Bridge was I think it was the first or second season that Mourinho was in charge. And you guys, at the Super Sunday, you guys absolutely hammered us 5-0. And I remember leaving at about 75 minutes thinking, I don't want any more of this. I'm done. Just a young kid in bits that we've just been smashed by a rampant Chelsea team. And I thought, you know what? I'm not coming back here until we've got a team that are capable of actually getting a result.
Until we become the richest team in the world.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I'm going to go back there one day. I think I'm going to come back there in the next few years. I'll be honest with you. But any more stats for us, Keith? Any more?
Yeah, a few more. So Chelsea this season, 14 different goal scorers already for Chelsea, playing really well, smashing it, and that compares to 6 for Newcastle, different goal scorers. Since the beginning of last season, Newcastle have conceded more goals at home than anybody, 43. And they've only had 2 clean sheets, and they were against Sheffield United and Liverpool. And the last time Chelsea have failed to score away from home in the Premier League against a non-Big Six side was against Leeds at Elland Road, 0-0 drawn March last season. And I thought I'd throw this one in as well. Frank Lampard career win percentage as a manager, 48.2%, and at Chelsea that was 52% when he's training with Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel, 62%. So that is a big upgrade that already.
Tell me about it. Wow.
I got a question for you guys, just in terms of how you guys are going to set up. Haven't seen a lot of Callum with St. Maxim. Are you guys going to play the 2 up top, or does he play in behind?
Good question. So I was at the Palace game on Saturday, and initially, so when Palace had the ball, or when the keeper had the ball, we set up as kind of a 3. So Maxi was in the middle, Callum was on the right, Ryan Fraser was on the left. But actually, in game, Ryan Fraser dropped into sort of a central midfield 3. So there was Ryan Fraser on the left, Sean Longstaff in the middle, and Isaac Hayden on the right. And then we played Maxi and Callum Wilson as a front 2. Now, That's what we have played most of the season, even when Callum Wilson was injured, because ultimately it's about fitting Alan St-Maximin into a system where he doesn't need to track back and defend. And because, he's not defensively minded, and it can leave whoever he plays on whatever side, the fullback exposed a little bit. So we do tend to play him further forward. And I don't think much will change, if I'm honest, under Graham Jones. I think it will be the same type of formation. and he'll kind of look to release Alan Saint-Maximin on the halfway line and try and cause damage on the counter attack. I think that'll be sort of our plan of action on Saturday.
Cool.
Brilliant.
And also, can I say this? That stats you guys are going on about Newcastle having a very good record against Chelsea. It is true, but if you go back and check, it's Mourinho. Mourinho have a horrible record at St James's Park. I think he only won once again with Tottenham. He's lost every visit with Chelsea. So the stats, if you check it, even Andres Villas-Boas won there 4-1. So all our managers, Scolari, they all beat Newcastle away. It's Mourinho that suffer more than any manager. But if you check, even Lampard won there once, isn't it? I think last season we won. Yeah, last season, Timo Werner and Tammy Abraham. Okay, if you check, all our managers have had 50% record, win, lose one, whatever, or above. It's Mourinho's record for Chelsea. That's why it's stick, because when they play in Mourinho, it's unbelievable. They're ready to die. Well, that's why I'm confident. Tomorrow we'll batter them. Don't worry about
that. You're not wrong. Mourinho's form at St James's Park, not just Chelsea but with Man United as well, was atrocious. It really, really was. But yeah, I hope that that those 5 wins at home turns to 6 on Saturday. And you know what, boy, do we need it. But I didn't do it on the intro. But thanks, Keith, for your stats. Here we are. And more stats to come in the weeks to come as well from Keith. Now, let's end the show on predictions. So, what do we think? Honest opinions. We'll go across the board, starting with Mo at the top. What do you think it will be the realistic prediction result of the game on Saturday?
I think it'll be a 2-0. I think
the Newcastle,
going to be. Yeah. No. All right, 0-2, 0-2, because 0-2. Yeah, it should be 0-2 to Chelsea. I think you guys are gonna have the home advantage, the fans behind you. That's gonna be a big factor. I think Chelsea has the experience to overcome this. I think it won't be easy. I don't see us conceding. And I see us scoring a couple. So it's 2-0 for me. Sorry, 0-2.
I like it. Yeah, fair play. Kasim, what we going for in terms of a prediction score?
Well, if Chelsea score first 15 minutes, mate, it's going to be a long day for you lot, in my opinion. Yeah, I saw if Newcastle kept it tight and. As I said, I'm gonna go for 3-0. If Chelsea scores early, it's gonna be a long day. I think it's gonna be 3-0, mate.
Again to Newcastle?
No. You know what I mean. Chelsea, I think, gonna score 3-0.
You're getting me excited when you're saying these predictions. I'm
thinking, 0-3.
Giving it a chance here. Dennis, talk to us. What are you going for?
First of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Lots of good insight and good conversations. I always talk to these guys, but it's always good to talk to some rival fans to get their opinion on things. I was not as cavalier as the rest. I do think that the first 30 minutes of that game is going to be telltale, and I'm not. It's just because I don't know what this manager's about. Like, I don't know anything about him. Is he defensive? Like, are you guys going to play 5 at the back? Because I think we'll have problems if you guys set up defensively, just because I don't think that we have the potency in attack. We have the element of surprise because you don't know where it's going to come from, but I'm worried about the potency, like the real, okay, here's where the goal is coming from. And I said that the last game against Norwich and we pumped them for 7. So don't take it with a grain of salt when I say that. But I worry about that. And Yeah, I think that if we are able to get off to a good start, like Kazim alluded to, it could be a long day. Just because if we play at a tempo that you guys can't live which I anticipate to be the case when you have the likes of Jorginho on there with Conte in the midfield. If we set the tempo at a pace that you guys can't play with us, it could be a long, long game. And like I said, I think our fullbacks, our wing backs are going to be crucial in this game and tracking their runs because they are a little bit more marauding than they have been in the past. You're going to have to track their runs, and do you have the players to do that? So yeah, ultimately, I'm not as cavalier, but I do think that we'll emerge winners. I'm going to say 2-1.
Ooh. So a little bit closer there. Maybe a little bit of a tighter game. Interesting, but great points as always, Dennis. Mo, what are you going for? Are you thinking it's going to be a tighter game, or you think it's going to be a straight out smash?
No, I think it's going to be like Norwich. The first 5-6 minutes they were chasing us around. I think Newcastle will not do that. They're going to drop deep. But I think the first chance Chelsea have, they should score. They should not be wasteful. If we score from our first chance, it will be like a 4-0. But if we don't, and you guys grow into confidence or whatever, then it will happen what happened with Hayden. The last minute, we didn't take our chance. Last minute, whatever, anything can happen. But I think we should win 4-0. I think so. We should.
4-0.
If he picks the right team. When I mean the right team, runners. If he picks players that like the ball to their feet, it will be 0-0. But if he picks the right team, we'll win 4-0.
Yeah, I just want to change my my score prediction. It was 2-0 in the first half, and then 2-0 in the second half.
I tell you what is going on? The confidence is growing throughout. I don't know what's going on here. It's crazy. So you've gone for a 4-0, Mo, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Right, Keith, come on. Give the Newcastle fans in the chat and me some hope here. Do we have a chance of winning? What are your predictions for the game on Saturday? I think you're on mute, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you.
Yep. I think it's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly, Pete, on Saturday. I think Newcastle will score. I think it'll probably take a bit. The game will probably go a bit like the last couple of games have against Tottenham and West Ham. Newcastle will score. You can just see it now, the crowd buzzing and everything. But I think, again, even though the fitness might be a bit better than it was in those games, I think they might fade at some point. I kind see them keeping Chelsea out for the whole half of the whole 90 minutes. And I think I see Chelsea winning by a couple of clear goals, but it will be nice if it's a better improved performance and certainly Newcastle score and Wilson again. But sadly, they're not there yet. I think some great points by the lads there. And I tell you, I've really been impressed by Mendy as well. Certainly against Brentford, that sort of form wins you titles. So I'm going to say maybe it's a 2-1, 3-1 to Chelsea.
Ooh, I thought you were going to give us some positivity there.
Goal, Pete.
Goal, yes.
Okay. I think it's going to be a bit of a cagey game. A few in the chat have mentioned the way in which we're going to set up. I think we're going to set up with a back five. I think we're going to try and make it very, very difficult for you guys to get in and behind. We're going to pack our box to make it difficult for you to play those little intricate passes that you like to play and work the ball forward. And we're going to try and counterattack. It's as simple as that, and we're going to use the fans as the 12th man to get behind. And I'm not saying it's going to be a nice watch. I don't think it will. I think it'll be a dogged, very scrappy type game. But I think it will be I think it's going to be a draw. Okay, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I think Newcastle will take a point. I think Chelsea will score first, and then Newcastle will rally and grab an equaliser. And I think it'll be a very nervy last few minutes of the game where Chelsea are pushing to try and get the victory. I think it'll be that type of game. We do pick up results against you guys at St James's Park, but they're never easy points. They're always difficult, and Chelsea do always come and play well. And I think that'll be the case again under a very, very good manager and a good set of players. But I do think we're going to need the point. We're going to take a point. Why? Because we're desperate for it. If we'd have been sitting up in the league on 10, 11 points, I think our approach to the game would be slightly different. And I think that would maybe open up the game for you. But I think we're going to try and make it tight and very difficult for you guys to play through us. So, yeah, that's my opinion. 1-1. I think Wilson will be the guy to score just because he's the only one that's scoring at the moment. That's definitely what I think will happen. There's been some fantastic questions in, and I apologise I've not been able to get through them all whilst talking to the lads on screen. Having an opportunity to look at the chat in between, and I know Dennis has been on there and one or two others talking to people. It's been fantastic, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys at the Blue Lounge, Mo, Kasim, Mo at the bottom, and Dennis. Massive thanks for you for coming on today. A really, really intriguing chat. Some great chat from all of you. Some fantastic opinions, not just on your club Chelsea, but on our club Newcastle and just in general. We'd love to have you back on in the return fixture at Stamford Bridge and talk a little bit of Newcastle and Chelsea. And hopefully, you guys are sitting up at the top of the league and we're sitting a little bit more comfortable than we are right now. So the chat can be a little bit different. So massive thanks to you. Appreciate you guys for coming on. Keith, as always, the stat man, for joining us late in the day. You'll be back for some more stats in the games to come. In the top right-hand corner, you can see Central Ale. Bruce Inn is our sponsor. He's the only Bruce we want at the club. The other Bruce we've got out, and we're very happy about that. Go to Central Ale for your finest ales. I still want to try that Jammy Dodger. It just sounds fantastic. So the next time I'm up in Newcastle, I will. Boys, just before I go, are any of you at the game on Saturday, or are you not travelling? Can't travel?
No, I'm not travelling. I don't think any of the boys here are travelling. Pete, I just want to say something. I want to say a big thank you to you for hosting the show. Also, thank you to Daz for organising it on Twitter. It's been a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm sure the lads have really enjoyed being here. Great discussion, great debate, great banter. It's always good to get a different perspective from rival fans, and we look forward to hosting you guys on the Blue Lounge tomorrow, and we will definitely be doing more streams in the near future. It's been great. Thank you.
No problem at all, and we look forward to joining you guys on your channel to talk more about Chelsea and Newcastle tomorrow. So 7 o'clock, is that right?
7 p.m. on the Blue Lounge.
7 p.m. tomorrow.
So,
Blue Lounge.
Guys, there's a lot of guys on the in the chat from the Blue Lounge. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to this channel. It'd be good to always get a different perspective. So check out the content on a regular basis.
Definitely, you took the words out of my mouth. So we are on the race now to 2,000 subscribers. We've quickly hit that 1,000 subscribers. We're actually approaching 1,400 very, very quickly, and we are looking to hit that 2,000 subscribers. Not too bad from a channel that's only been running 5-6 months at the most. So we're proud of what we're doing. We've got fantastic support in the guys on the chat. Keith as well joining in and supporting us. It's a massive help, and thank you for that kind plug as well. So guys, I will leave it there. Thank you very much. You guys take care, and we'll speak to you all soon. And as always, we do love playing away.